in your role, what kind of cultural competency have you had to develop, or skills that you found helpful in connecting with offshore partners?
And the other way back to us.
And right? The other way back to us. So yeah, what are their challenges? I mean, you mentioned, the voiceover challenges, the script writing challenges. What are the more interpersonal skills that both sides have had to develop to work cohesively together as a team?
I've had a number of different experiences working with a couple of teams over the years. When I was in my call center days, as an instructional designer, I managed, well, not really managed, but, kind of, was in more of a leadership, type role, like, the supervisory, type role. And I worked with a couple of the guys out in India. And at that time, we were very, process oriented and process driven. We'd send a task, but we'd also have to provide a very clear set of instructions, do A, and once A is done, B, C, D, and, just, follow the checklist down. But working with this team over the last couple of years in offshore resources, I've kind of taken a different approach, which is basically to just treat them like anyone, else that I might be working with, whether they be here in India, the UK, Germany. The biggest challenge I think that we have is the language barrier. And then, like I said, it's not so much a language barrier more than it is just we use different words. They don't always communicate in a way that, I'm used to, when considering, how I talk to my friends or my colleagues, here in the US. But I found that they're very, very versatile, outside of that one specific issue, which is, script writing and maybe, recording audio for a US audience. They're capable of doing anything and everything that anybody here might be doing. So, I was talking with one of our other managers who, was hiring offshore resources and going to be working with them for the first time. And, she was asking me, well, what do you do? How do you manage these guys? Do you have to tell them like everything that they need to do? And I'm like, no, I just treat them like anybody else. We look for, when we hire instructional designers, we look for people that have background, that have experience working with e-learning authoring tools and putting together, competent presentations. So with the team that I've got now, I get notified of a new project. I, schedule a kickoff meeting and gather all the details and, pick somebody from the team who I want to assign the project to. And I just tell them, hey, take off, go. And, they've really grown into, those, that position, and they're able to, manage their SME resources, their communication skills. I've seen, great improvements since I started working with them. They're a lot more confident now, I think, than they used to be, because we're looking to empower them, just like, anybody, here in the US outside of, and we've even, done some tests where, we allowed them to record some audio. Didn't go so well. We ended up having to, redo some of the audio, and, it caused us a little bit of rework, but I mean, it's a good experience for them. So they've really been, given the same opportunities that everybody else, here in the US or in the UK or Australia or, wherever it might be. Given those same opportunities, they're able to grow and shine, just like the developers, other developers that I've worked with.
And for the record, these folks are employees that are
Yes.
in an India office. They are not people that are like an offshore contracted company.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like the language issue is more the cultural uses of language
Exactly.
than it is the lack of English ability. It's more the cultural uses, because I think of idioms and slang, and I say y'all.
Exactly.
I'm from North Carolina. I say y'all. And so I think of that kind of cultural language issue more than a lack of English on either side.
Yeah. And that's something that you have to, as, a citizen of the United States, that's something that, I mean, if you work with anybody anywhere around the world, that you have to get used to. If you're, speaking the same language, there's going to be differences, based on, region, territory, whatever it is. We've all got our, the slang that we like. I'm right there with you. I'm kind of more of the Southern boy myself. After so many years of working with these guys, I've really kind of developed an ear for a lot of the the turns of phrase that they use. So Yeah.
I know the one that used to catch me all the time was they would say, click here to know more. And we would typically say, click here to learn more.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's simple
Just,
things like
just
that.
those
but
different
it's-
words that they might use mean the same thing, but
Or I have doubts.
wouldn't,
I have
wouldn't say
doubts
it.
as opposed to have a
So,
question.
but outside of that, they're really wonderful to work with. I've really enjoyed, being able to interact with them and get grow my experience with, different peoples and different cultures, and give them some opportunities to, engage with, not only our other members of our development team here in the U.S., but people across the different products that we support.